All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go ahead and get it. Because recently, I had the opportunity to watch the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I think I watched this episode. I think this was a day ago or 2 days ago. I literally can't remember now. But yeah, I only had access to episode one, but got a chance to see it, and we are going to dissect it. But it's spoiler free, so don't freak out. Spoiler free. So if you're watching right now, definitely make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to my Patreons, $1 Patreon in the description box, comment section down below. But we do have my boy Sam here with us today, Team JBS. I think he's got like 51,000 subscribers or something like that at the current time. So actually, we got to let the people know, this is my boy Sam JBS right here. Man's at 51,000 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe to your boy, like his videos as well. And let's go ahead and dive into this, because this is going to be quite the review. Actually, as a matter of fact, Sam, you can unmute yourself.
I already did. It's all good.
It just occurred to me I need to drop these social media links. But while I'm doing that, what did you think of the show? What's your rating consensus, and then we can kind of just dissect this.
Yeah, sure. So
spoiler free. Again, spoiler free. People don't just relax.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not gonna spoil it. So for me, I was excited for this show initially because I was kind of like, okay, this is gonna be the action Marvel show. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, coming off of what they did with The Mandalorian, I was like, if they put some money behind it, this could be really interesting. But I kind of felt a little disengaged because when I started seeing the trailers, it's kind of like, oh, it's like a buddy cop thing. This may lead to something, it may not. And from the very first episode, they established something very visceral when it comes to both individual characters. They don't even have necessarily scenes together in the first episode, but they decide to foundationally break down where they are as Sam and as, Sebastian Stan's Bucky. And both of them are in very emotionally distant places since, Cap basically threw the shield away, so to speak, and kind of left it over to Sam. And I really did like it. I really liked the episode. I gave it an 8, I think an 8 out of 10. The first action sequence I was really surprised by. I actually really liked it. Because it kind of gave me something that I hadn't seen before, which was Falcon finally actually doing something on his own, not trying to help somebody else, not kind of maneuvering around, but really just leading the charge himself. And then it left me with something when it comes to Bucky as a character where I'm trying to understand him psychologically, where he is coming from when we first saw him in of course, Captain America, then Winter Soldier, then in Civil War being succumbed to, the mind manipulation to where he is right now. And I really did appreciate the human side of this episode, even if it was kind of fleeting in terms of things happening. But yeah, I loved it.
Yes, so this is going to be quite intriguing because I feel the polar opposite. And again, spoiler free, people, spoiler free. But here's my thing. I've been wrestling with this episode, if I'm being flat out honest with you. I mean, in my defense, when it came to WandaVision, when it came to Falcon Winter Soldier, I loved WandaVision, but, on the outside looking in, I was not one of these people that was like banging on drums, excited for this content. And this first episode, I'm just conflicted with it. It feels weird saying that it was bad. So I've concluded, and I've really been thinking about this for a few hours, like just hardcore, going back and forth with the episode. Because in fairness, I was having a bad day prior to watching the episode, but I genuinely don't think that was I don't think that was it. Because the bad day was sparked by Demi Lovato's documentary, which we'll get to that in just a moment. But for me personally, and again, this is my honest to God opinion, I think that the first episode, which is all that I've seen, I would probably give it like a 7 out of 10. But even more than that, I still don't think that's accurate. It's more accurate for me to just say the first episode, The Falcon, a Winter Soldier, as mind-blowing as this might sound, because I really enjoy the MCU, and I love Marvel. I just think it was just okay. Like it literally was just like MEH, just meh. Like it was just okay. Like it was just fine. Like I'm not in love with it. It's not per se bad or really, really bad. I'm like really, really in the middle with it. Like it was just the opening action sequence with Falcon. Like I can see how a fan would gush, but at the same time, like it was just okay. Like it didn't exceed expectations. There was a lot of noticeable CGI, which kind of took me out. It wasn't like the most amazing. Like it's not outside of anything we've seen before with Falcon action wise. I think that's one of the reasons why, let's say, the first initial action sequence was just like it's fun, but like at the same time, like what?
So
like,
I think I would disagree that we've seen this from Falcon before, because with Falcon, when we first introduced and saw him, of course, in like the Winter Soldier, he decided to put himself in the line of fire, but we never got to really see what he can do from an aerial perspective, right? Like he's always been like to the side point, but in this sequence, without spoiling it, like he was going up against multiple different things from men, from like jets, from helicopters, from gunfire all over. And I was kind of like, you forget that Sam Wilson is a soldier. Like I forgot, yes, he's an Avenger, but you forget like he's a trained soldier. They talked around it that he, from the first time we meet him in the Winter Soldier, like he kind of ran this camp for people that were dealing with PTSD. And he was injured and his best friend had died. But we didn't really get to see him really go for it. Like he's kind of helped. He's been a good assist. I think the best assist one he did was in Civil War, but we really hadn't really got to see him like flex like that. And he was able to do that on his own. But I think the other thing about it is that none of these shows so far.
His son David. His son David just
sorry, y'all. As far as the way that it's actually filmed and shot, it's shot like a film. Like it's got that grainy movie kind of feel to it. Even though the CGI, I will admit to Jor-Els, it's not as good as what we've seen before. And I'm not saying that, but for the television, for the small screen, from that little action moment, that was a lot. It was a whole lot. And some of it, yes, was CGI. And of course, when some stuff is CG, but for them to do a whole aerial shot on a TV level, like that was a whole lot, bro. And I hadn't seen that on a TV scale. I haven't. So for me, I really appreciated it. I really appreciated it from a TV standpoint.
It's just that, I mean,
you were wowed by Infinity War, Endgame, and what MCU has done. They've laid a foundation of expectation, which I get.
Yeah, I was just about to tell you, it's like fam, like the opening sequence to this episode, there's no denying that it's fun. But at the same time, like I'm not gonna call my buddy Josh and be like, oh my god, did you see that sequence? Did you like it's not one of those. Again, it's not far and away from what we've seen before. Literally, we've seen Falcon flying like in the airport sequence, okay, where there was Spider-Man and all that shit. We literally we've seen Falcon literally dropping bombs on niggas while Captain America and Black Panther were on the ground wrecking people. I feel where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's almost like you're suggesting I don't know what you're suggesting, because there was nothing iconic about this action sequence. There was nothing like substantially wowing. Like it was just and just so we don't get stuck in the weeds with the action sequence, like the overall episode. Okay, I know this is gonna sound fucked up, but just bear with me. When I was playing The Last of Us Part 2, a certain someone died, and when this person died, it was not until that moment where I realized, like, oh my god, like I really cared about this person, like I really loved this person, like whoa, when I was watching this, and you got to remember, I had like no expectations, borderline wasn't really even interested, but I guess I'll take it. That was kind of my thoughts going into the show. But when I was watching this first episode, I get that it was only like, 45 minutes or something, but like midway through the episode, just like with the last part of us, The Last of Us Part 2, it hit me, but in reverse. Like midway through this episode, I was like, oh wow, I really don't care for these characters now that we're in the midst of this. and I'm looking forward to future episodes. Okay, I'm hoping that they're substantially better. But like, yes, I would rate this a 7 out of 10, which means that it's not bad, technically speaking. But I still don't feel that rating is accurate. That's why I said I've been conflicted. I think the real rating, which is something I don't ordinarily do, I just thought it was just okay with a period at the end. Like it was decent or meh. Like, this level of depth that they're trying to give these two characters, right? Like this, they spend the episode sort of foreshadowing, or they're giving you implications, foreshadowing what may or may not come in the future episodes, right? With these characters. Maybe Falcon will become the next Captain America. You know what? Maybe he feels like he doesn't want it. Which way is he going to go? There's something that reminds Bucky of a painful aspect of his past. Is Bucky about to go down a dark route? Is he maybe about to become a darker character? Maybe a villainous character? Hell, is he going to become Captain America? There's a particular instance with Falcon and his sister. And it's like, is the show going to speak to Falcon struggling as a hero? Is the show going to, speak to him struggling as a black man? I get that for some people, stuff like this, like, it's going to make people slap a 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10 on this episode, or even a 10 out of 10 for all I know. I mean, maybe people will watch this episode and be like, Jor-El, what are you talking about? But for me, this was almost borderline a 6 out of 10. Like, again, it literally was just okay. It was just decent. Like, there's a moment where, like, you and Lucas were like, but Jor-El, it's deeper than that because of this and because of that. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, but, like, there's still just a kind of an awkward sequence of Sebastian and old girl playing Battleship in the middle of this episode. And we're post-Endgame.
So, real quick.
But, thoughts on what I'm saying. Go ahead.
Yeah, so going back to it, and I think it's kind of like it's going to bleed over into my overarching thought about this. No. Wait. Sorry, Samuel. I'm so sorry. I have to interrupt you because I hate when somebody just says someone just said the wrong thing to me in the comment section. So I'm going to have to pause you for just a second because people must think we're just young boys out here. So who said this? Hey,
I don't even know. Full Wilds.
Click on their name. Click on their name real quick.
Yeah, so Full Wilds. What is it?
There you go.
Yeah, Full Wilds. I feel like they have not seen it, and they're using this video for views. Absolutely not, family. I don't like doing this type of thing, but just for you, homie, just for you. Okay. What you think this is? You know what I'm saying? What do you think that is? What's that look like to you?
Why you got a flex for it?
No. And I hate when people do this. When people call me a liar. What do you think this is, sir? What do you think this is? You think this is our first time, sir? What do you think that is right there? You get back to me. You let me know what that looks like to you. It looks like evidence to me, sir. It looks like proof to me, sir. So, what was his name? I'm gonna put him on the screen again. What was his name? Yeah. What do you feel about that, sir? What do you feel about that proof, that evidence that just hit you? Let me know. Anyway, I'm sorry, Samuel. You can continue.
Yeah, I apologize for the noise you may hear in the background. It's a young man's dream show, and I don't know why it's really loud right now. But so going back and harping to what the initial thing was, when I was talking about Falcon, even just in that fight scene, there were points when I was watching him in the other, movies or incarnations. I was kind of like, can he really do this on his own? Like, if I don't go off of comic knowledge, if I don't go about anything else, right? Yeah. Is he a character that could really just do it on his own? Like, what has he really done aside from being an actual, soldier? He tagged along with Captain America and he just rode his coattails. And it was kind of like, this episode allowed me to understand, okay, there's enough here for me to be like, okay, I never really cared necessarily about him outside of being Cap's friend or the possible future prospect.
You bring up
what this episode did for me is I realized, you know what I'm saying, like with a lot of different superheroes, you kind of like, well, how do they really sustain themselves if they're not a Tony Stark, if they're not a Peter Parker that's living, you know, with the aunt, if they were initially a soldier and then decided to just be an Avenger, what does that make them be? You know what I'm saying? And then the opposite was it came to one of the most interesting characters in the MCU for me personally is the Winter Soldier. This man for hundreds of years assassinated and killed people. He's on the same level as Captain America, but he's been brainwashed and could certifiably annihilate a whole group of people without them knowing. Like, he's a Punisher level character. And so only because of his friendship with Captain America and only because he decided to gain access to his own freedom, so to speak, is where he is now. But even he got blipped just like Sam did. So they were kind of like 5 years off kilter.
Right.
And this episode addresses, okay, just because this happened doesn't take you outside of your own problems. And they very much so, specifically Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier, I was assessing his psychological profile. And I know in the comics that, the Winter Soldier becomes Captain America first, and then later on, Sam Wilson becomes Captain America. But this episode let me believe, like, you know what, like these dudes ain't where they need to be yet. Like neither one of them right now could take up the mantle in their own right. Neither one of them have proved themselves to even themselves or to us as the audience members as being this symbol. Like they're actually fundamentally flawed. And that's the thing that engaged me to want to see more. And that was something that I didn't anticipate going into the episode whatsoever.
Yeah, and to be clear, I'm not saying that like I don't want to see where the story goes. I love the MCU, you know what I'm saying? And I love Marvel comics way more, but I love the MCU for the most part, at least. I think, like, yeah, I'm curious to see where the characters are going, and I really hope that the next episode is way more substantial than this, because that literally, no offense to this premiere, but there was shit that I watched at South by Southwest. So somebody in the comment section just said something. Was this? Do you? Damn, just say you like WandaVision more and stop crying. That's hysterical. But we don't even have to say WandaVision. There was literally shit at South by Southwest that literally, without exaggeration, was flying colors better than this episode. And we're talking about something non-MCU related. You understand me? So we don't even have to bring up WandaVision. Actually, bringing up WandaVision is actually not that bad of a point, because even though I did love it, that being said, there was definitely like a couple episodes, maybe one more, where Marvel fans were like, there's Jor-Els just hating it, right? Because I'm reviewing each episode episodically. It's like, no. Just because something's flawed doesn't mean hatred, my dear kiddies. But I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you that this premiere is a 10 out of 10. It's a must watch. I'm not gonna say all that. I just think it's okay. I think saying it's bad is a little bit harsh, because they did try, to be fair. But it was okay.
And to be fair, just so you guys know,
nothing really substantially happened either. There's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of implying, but it kind of just felt like, not directly, but it kind of just reminds me. I'm not saying it's of the same quality. Relax. But it does remind me of certain episodes from The Walking Dead, where it'll be like a bottleneck episode, and they'll be like, okay, so this episode we're gonna focus on Tara, a character that I don't really care about. And unfortunately, that's kind of what this episode was. Like, every time I've ever seen Bucky and Falcon prior, like, I always loved their cameos. I loved when they're comedic, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love those moments. I love when the two of them, it's almost like a buddy cop situation is going on. I love that type of shit. Winter Soldier, the movie, I love the baby, sweet Jesus. People have been drawing comparisons to this episode, this one episode. And Winter Soldier, get out of here, okay? Winter Soldier is like a 9 out of 10. That's a great film. How dare you, sir?
So I'm going to speak to that real quick.
Go ahead.
So,
I'm talking about in terms of quality. Hell no. Winter Soldier is one of the greatest fucking things MCU's ever done. If you want rants about how, well, they share these concepts, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm talking about quality, just to be clear.
So for me, I can't speak to the quality because the show has not reached its apex yet, let alone the end of it. But in terms of tone and in terms of, slow progressional pacing, this could build up to be something freaking amazing. And it feels like more than any other one that I've seen, more of a tonal Winter Soldier story. Like it really just does. Now, the thing about me and Jor-Els is very different. It's two different things, you guys. So I didn't like WandaVision as much as Jor-Els did. And for me, the first 2 episodes I felt were cute, but they didn't give me anything WandaVision of substance that I kind of was like, ooh, I'm gonna, want to see more. I felt the way that he feels about this.
Which is so funny.
It's interesting. So you guys know, the reason why we're doing this together is because we're trying to come to some kind of, not a bait, but we're trying to understand each other and give you guys some good content. But the other thing that's also very different between me and Jor-Els is that I never liked when Winter Soldier and Falcon were together. I thought every single time they were together, it was really cringy. The only moment I really liked was when they were in the car together. And I think that Cap was... he was flirting with Sharon, whatever, and they kind of looked at each other and kind of was smiling and smirking. So this is there, but I was kind of they just kind of the tag-alongs, right? I was I never was kind of into them. This is the first episode that I was kind of okay, I can look at them retrospectively different. You know what I'm saying? I can see what they are as individuals. What you need, boy? You need a cracker?
This is true.
So for me, it was kind of it was a reverse effect for me. I went into this oh my gosh, I don't want to see 48 Hours today. I don't want this to start off with, oh man, all of a sudden Anthony Mackie's out there training and doing all this, and Bucky's just kind of yeah, you're doing it right, that wasn't what I wanted. I was what I thought based on the trailers. That's what I was gonna get. But no, they were no, they started off on this one scene with Anthony Mackie and a shield and a speech, and that joint low-key sets the tone for the rest of the series.
No, I was going to say that was literally the biggest highlight of the episode. A particular scene with Falcon, the shield, in a museum. That scene, I was holy sweet Jesus, this feels like something literally out of a
interesting
Marvel
cameo.
Yeah, but yeah, that felt literally something out of a Marvel comic book for real. But most of the episode, they're trying so hard to make us emotionally connect hardcore to these characters. And it's bruh, hold up a second. No offense, but 5 minutes ago, I never really cared about the characters that deeply. Okay? Don Cheadle's character, for example, I'm blanking out on his character name, I apologize, but Don Cheadle's character, it's I've always enjoyed him, but if tomorrow you're hey, we got this 6-hour show about him, I'd be
well, they're doing one. You're doing one for him too.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're doing one for him too.
But it's what do you mean? I never really cared for this character like that. And I applaud them for trying so hard. When Bucky's in with the therapist, I applaud them for trying so hard. But
see, I really got so much from that though.
Before you begin, I just want to say I think I just needed a few more minutes on the clock, baby. Again, I'm hoping that the next episode reins me in, but this wasn't the one. I'm so sorry. This premiere was not the one. This was not the 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, there's something that happens with a therapist's conversation with Bucky that if you really understand and you're looking at him, for a fact this man is a assassin for hundreds of years. He is an amazing liar, and this therapist is dissecting him. She's kind of asking him these probing questions, and he's meaning the polar opposite. And it shows me where his headspace is, and it shows me how dangerous he really truly is, and not necessarily to everybody else, but to himself. And I'm kind of that's what I'm here for. For me, that was what I was hoping that the show was going to give me. even more so than the action I know that's going to eventually come. I know the action is going to pick up. I know it's going to ramp up. I know it's going to be freaking crazy. What you need, boy?
I think it's the execution.
You need cracker?
That's
cracker?
The issue.
All right, go sit down.
I think that's the issue. The execution was off. Because what you're saying, like, again, I agree with, but the execution was off. Like, because, I mean, as much as they were trying to say with Bucky talking to the therapist, it's like, fam, this was not, like, on the level of, like, I don't know, Rorschach talking with the old dude in Watchmen, okay? Like, it's not something substantial is what I'm trying to tell you. It's not something that is, in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm totally wrong. But I would just be blown away if a substantial amount of fans are like, oh my God, this is a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 episode. Let's do it again. Like, I literally would be so taken aback by that. So taken aback.
I think that what they anticipated just on good faith from Marvel and Disney, that it's going to get to that point. That this was something that was kind of like just bringing us in slowly but surely. True. And I kind of like, I didn't need it to be that, that hit necessarily.
It did for me just because I ain't never really cared for him. Not like that. Not like that. Not like how in depth this episode was going. I never, whoa. I almost said that at one point. I almost said like, whoa, like I no offense, but I never cared about these two that deeply, sir. I admire what you're doing. Just like with The Walking Dead. I admire when they try to shine the spotlight on bitch ass Henry or bitch ass Tara for fucking minutes and minutes on end, but it's like it's just not working that well for me.
Yeah, but I think that the thing about it is like you got characters and you got a situation where we're dealing with superhumans, and we know. I mean, the characters, whether the characters can win us over or not, I don't know. But from an action standpoint, you know it's coming. You know the action's coming. Like you can't even deny that the action's about to be lit. And I think that's where everybody's with it. Sure. Whether or not it proves what my suspicions, and I think what Lucas was alluding to, suspicions that this could be a very interesting dissection, and it might draw you closer to these characters in ways that we never thought possible, to make it be valid that one of them could inherit this. One thing that I didn't like about the episode, though, it kind of telegraphed that, and that's why I kind of disagreed with Lucas, that I think that one of them are going to get it. And
wait, what do you mean? Deaths or like
no.
becoming the next Captain America?
One of them is going to become the next Captain America.
Okay.
But the thing that counters that for me is that one of them low key could be the next villain of the MCU. Like it's weird.
I agree.
Really, like just this episode alone, I was kind of like, oh no, he's not good. He's not doing good at all.
Yeah.
So that's what I loved about it, and that's the thing that I don't like telegraphing things. Like, don't just give it to me. But I think that they brought me in easily enough that I was kind of like, you know what, I'm actually excited for the next episode.
Yeah, I just think the execution is off. Like, I'm curious to see where it's going, but if we were just basing the future only off of this episode, it does not look good for me personally. Literally, just based off this one episode, I would almost be like, why didn't these fools just make like a like a little movie streamed to just Disney Plus? Good Lord! But then again, literally, just like with WandaVision, literally the next episode could just be a 9 out of 10 for all I know. Because literally, I'll never forget. There's like 2 episodes of WandaVision where I was like, it's kind of fine, and people are like, Jor-Els hating again. Oh yeah, and then look what happened. I gave the show
look, and I'm
finale 10 I gave the WandaVision a 9 out of 10. I gave the finale a 9 out of 10. So listen, don't get in your feelings about my thoughts on the premiere episode, because literally episode 2 could be a banger.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely agree with you on that regard. I don't know what's coming next. I suspect that this is going to be some really dope quality action, possibly a really good story. To be fair, with WandaVision, I kind of wished it was just a TV movie. I felt like WandaVision kind of wasted a lot of my time, unfortunately. But the fact that these hour-long episodes are coming, only thing that I worry about is there's only 5 episodes left. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
And what's this, Kyle? What is Kyle talking about? Apparently, Kyle had a lot to say. What you talking about, dear sir? It's pretty weird to see someone bumping up against a slow. What the pacing? The pacing isn't the issue. Pacing isn't the issue. It is a bit of a slow burner, but the pacing is the issue because I mean this could have been fast paced and I would have been making the same.
He's talking about his intrigue, Kyle. He's talking about like something like it's worth his time right now. So no, that's not what he means.
I'm talking about the literal overall execution of the narrative of this first episode. What else did he say? And they're still watching The Walking Dead 10 seasons in. Sir, the only reason why I'm still watching The Walking Dead is because I promised that when they announce a series final season, I would come back.
He did. That's the only reason, because I tried to get him back to watch it. He was like, "No, sir. Let me know when they cancel that joint, and I got you." But yeah, my closing thoughts. I'm very. I don't know. I'm kind of like drawn to where this narrative is going, more so to Bucky's character. I do like the human side of how they're treating Falcon as a hero, what that really means, what he's gonna have to do to step up, not just as a hero, but as a man. Like he did some really shady stuff in this episode. I was kind of like, I don't know. There is a villain set up in this. It doesn't really go anywhere. It isn't a big overarching villain storyline, but it's enough that I'm kind of like, okay, I see this is going somewhere. So I definitely think you guys will enjoy it personally. And I think it's a week-to-week thing that I'd be willing to check out. I do wish they did give us 2 episodes first. I could have been like,
I wish they had gave me. I wish they gave us like 3 episodes, because I would have been very curious by my opinion. Because if it's literally just based off of this one episode, I would have just been like, y'all niggas should have just made a Disney Plus movie and kept it moving. But again, next episode could be a 10 out of 10 for all I know.
Nope.
I really don't know. I guess wrapping up thoughts, because we can't get into spoilers, unfortunately. I was just underwhelmed. Like, I thought it was just okay. I thought it was like borderline. It was just meh for me. Like, it was just fam. This is not something to scream from the mountaintop. This is a must watch. This is a classic. Oh my God. I just don't know that it's all that. I'm just being flat out honest with you. I think I thought it was just okay. If you need a rating, it's probably between a 7 or 6 out of 10, probably about 7 out of 10. It was okay. But again, I was never that deeply connected to these 2 specific characters in the MCU. So keep that in mind. Any final thoughts about the premiere episode before it drops tomorrow? Right?
Come here.
I think it drops tomorrow at
oh Lord, your little snotty nose.
2 a.m.
All right, you got any final thoughts? You ain't got no final thoughts. So for me, I think you guys, from a quality standpoint, are gonna enjoy it. It may not go anywhere just yet, but I think it's enough that it'll keep your intrigue to see where it goes from a week-to-week standpoint. And I'm all the way here for it. I'm definitely gonna be reviewing each episode for sure.
Do you think
not with this little guy?
Do you think most people are gonna love it? Do you think?
I think most people are gonna be very entertained by it. I think they're gonna be like, I mean, and that's just me saying from a Disney Marvel standpoint, people stand Marvel. And I think that they're gonna be like, you know what? I'm really interested. Let's see where this goes. I think that there's not a lot of people out there that's gonna be like, oh no, this didn't give me a lot. I think that they're gonna be like, okay, cool. I want to see where this goes. Give me more. Yeah. All right. You gotta go now. Say bye-bye.
Well, someone in the comments section has said this. I had no idea you could show comments like that, like this. This is lit. I had no idea you could do this. What? But yeah, when I saw this comment, it kind of makes me think. I'm not suggesting that most people are gonna be like, this is a bad episode, but I am curious if there's more people than you thought sharing an opinion similar to mine.
I'm gonna say this now, because I hear my son running around. I can't say much. I gotta go. I gotta feed his little tail. No, but I'm gonna say this. I think that Disney should have came out with 2 episodes to What? What's up?
You just left each other.
I know. I brought him in here a couple times. Let me finish, baby. Almost done. Sorry, I'm a family man, y'all. I think that Disney should have came out the gate with 2 episodes off rip in a weekend where the Snyder Cut is a thing. They should have legit went with the Thunder. Now, they didn't have to. I think they were kind of like on good faith. Everybody's going to tune into Falcon Winter Soldier. Yes. But I think if they would have came out the gate with 2 episodes, it would have been a really interesting competing weekend. Because a lot of people, like me and Jor-Els talked about, didn't think or didn't know that the Snyder Cut was going to hit like it hit. And people are talking about that joint like it's no tomorrow. I bet you if we started talking about Snyder Cut right now, y'all be like, oh, snap. Tell us more. What do you think? And to be honest, we're going to be doing a watch party later on tonight. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Well, what was your rating for the premiere?
8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah, my official rating is I just thought it was okay. I know that's not what you want to hear, baby, but unfortunately, it's just the truth. I can only tell you the truth. It was just okay. It was okay. Yeah. Give me the next episode. Why did they not give us the next episode? Because I feel like I that would have saved me. I feel like I have a sinking feeling I'm gonna watch the second episode and be like, this was drastically better. So it's like, damn it.
Time will tell, good sir. Time will tell.
But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, you know what I'm saying, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe as well. Subscribe to my boy, Sam JVS, and we're out of here. We have to go do other things.
I gotta go take care of my son and eat.